Welcome to the Talk and Sound podcast. It's not Annie and Matt, it's Tommy and Harrison. This is Brandon and this is Elliot. And today we're going to be interviewing the Dunstable first team manager.
So Steve, obviously you've recently been introduced to the club, and obviously there's been a lot of move on Twitter. And for the people that don't know, how many people do you reckon you could bring in the next, before like pre-season, do you reckon you aim to bring in?
Yeah, so talking to a number of players. There's still players left over from last year's group who are going to be there in pre-season, so that's a positive as well. Like I said when I first came in, that we were going to need to recruit some players to try and achieve what we want to this season. So talking to quite a few, I think probably had about 6 or 7 now who are kind of confirmed and they're in for next season. Now, no one can actually sign until the 1st of July, so I'm always mindful of not shouting about stuff too early, but there's still a lot of other conversations that are ongoing, but we're really confident in the players that we're going to bring in, that we're going to have a really strong squad.
What do you look for in a player to climb up ranks?
Good question, yeah. So the most important thing is always going to be a good attitude. I think that, talent is important, and, being a good player is important, but, have you got the right attitude? Do you want to listen? Do you want to learn? I think that's really important. Being a good teammate, I think, is really important as well, and that's not just being a good teammate, when you score a goal and go and celebrate, but it's when your teammate might have had, made a mistake. Do you go and support them? Do you try and help them through those moments? So I think attitude is really good. Obviously, some good footballing ability helps as well, attitude is number one. It's always at the top for us that we look for.
What are your ambitions for next season?
Good question again. So I want to try and help us get promoted. That's my aim. I think in terms of Dunstable Town, we should always set out to have that ambition at the start of the season. So like I said, if we can do it automatically and kind of go up as champions, that'd be nice. We don't have to worry about any playoffs, but if we have to go by the playoff route, we'll do that as well. So I think Dunstable Town should be at least a step forward club, and my ambition is to make sure we get there.
What style of football can we expect you to play?
So it's going to be a very attacking. I want my teams to be on the front foot and entertaining. I think that's important. We need to win. I want to make sure that we're going to be a winning team, because that's what all of us want. We all want to support a winning team. I kind of want teams, when they play against us, and I want their players coming off going, wow, that was really hard, because we're really difficult to play against, and we chase and we're really energetic. And then I want them to then go, and they're a good footballing team as well. So hopefully you'll be really entertained when you come and watch the games this season. Plenty of wins as well.
Do you reckon it'll be easier this season, obviously the shift of Real Bedford and all their money moving away?
Yeah, I mean, Real Bedford were, obviously, probably the biggest spenders last year, probably by some sort of distance. But you actually look at the league, and MK Irish ran them pretty close for a long part of the season. So there's going to be always good teams. I think that you're going to have probably more teams this year that fancy their chances of trying to get into the top 5. So our objective is going to be to try and make sure that we're better than any of them. So I don't necessarily think it will be easier. We just got to try and focus on making sure that we're the best team possible and are set up to win as many games as we can.
If you lose a game, what's your preparation for the next game? How do you prepare the players?
Yeah, it's a good question. So I think that the first thing is not to get too carried away straight after a match, because the emotions can be very high, and I think sometimes you don't always make good decisions, or you don't always say the right things. So it's making sure that you're nice and calm after the game, that you communicate well with the players, and then as a management team, we'll do our analysis. We'll watch games back. We'll look at areas that we can improve on. We'll also look at the areas that we did really well, because it's important to make sure that we continue doing those as we go forward. It's about, again, identifying, looking towards the next game. What's the objective in the next game? Who are we up against? What's our plan going to be? But making sure that it's a positive atmosphere. We're not going to panic too much if we lose the odd game, but we're going to make sure that we're really focused on the next one and making sure we win that one.
Why did you leave Harpenden to come to Dunstable?
Yeah, it wasn't so much about like leaving Harpenden, because it's a club that I played for and had a long time there and really enjoyed it there. But it was really about this opportunity, to work at a great club, to take that next step from my own personal perspective in terms of going into management. And yeah, I was always kind of going to be looking for that opportunity at some point, but waiting for the right one. I really think this is the right one. So yeah, it was sad to leave Harpenden, but it wasn't really a difficult decision because I knew that this opportunity was one that I had to take.
Going from an assistant manager job at Harpenden Town to a first team job at Dunstable Town, what do you think the main challenges and the differences will be between the jobs?
Yeah, so a little bit different is one of the things that I'm already doing now a lot more of. So I'm having to kind of try and recruit players and talk to players about joining, where I did a little bit of that in my previous role, but that was normally a little bit more of the manager's role. So that's one thing. I'm not just manager as well as the players, but I've also got a management team now that I'm managing. So making sure that I'm giving them good guidance and being really clear to them what I want us to do and how we're going to train. So those type of things are quite different, but I still think I'm going to do a lot of the same things that I was doing previously. I'm still going to be talking to players on a training night, and that's what I was doing last year. I'm still going to be delivering coaching sessions now, maybe not as many. I used to deliver almost all the sessions over at Harpenden with Rob, who's come with us here. So it might be stand back and look a little bit more. And then yeah, the kind of the big thing is that I'll make the final decisions, I guess, on team selection, but it won't just be me. I'll take advice from the coaches, and then we'll make the decisions together. But yeah, that's probably the biggest one.
So obviously last season we had like a lot of list of injuries, and obviously like quite a lot of the youngsters and the under 18s are being like brought up. Do you reckon that will be like the same this season, or like under 18s still being brought up?
Yeah, so definitely it's an important part of what we want to do here at Dunstable Town in terms of making sure that we've got a good connection with the youth team. I've already been to watch one of their games. Actually, they played over at Barton a couple of weeks ago, so I had a chance to take a look, and some really good players there. So I think that what's important about it is doing it at the right time. So we'll identify those good talented players. We'll introduce them into the training environment so that they're used to the standard of the players they'll be playing against. And then yeah, as long as they're ready to do it, they'll get their opportunity. So yeah, it's a really important part for us, and I think that it's something that hopefully not just this season, but over a long period of time at Dunstable, you're going to see players moving up through the youth teams into the first team.
If you had to pick a professional player, like anyone, who would it be to join your team?
Am I allowed to say Messi? Can I say Messi? I would take Messi. Yeah, I think that I mean, from my perspective, he is the very best. Maybe at this moment in time, I think Mbappe will be pretty good in the Spartan League. I can score a few goals for us, so I'd probably get him.
You could bring anyone who like is not really well known professional footballer. Who would it be?
Oh, that's another good question. So there's a lad who I played against actually, who plays at Ipswich now, called Sam Morsey, who plays centre midfield. And I played against him when I was in school. I played against him in a cup semi-final, and it was a really close game. He just put 2 balls in the top corner in the last 10 minutes, knocked us out of the cup. So I wouldn't be very thankful of him for that, but he's a very good player. Yeah.
If you were to have like, an unlimited budget, like who would like your ideal starting 11 would be?
Oh, the whole 11?
Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's a good question. So I'd have Edison in goal, because yeah, goalkeeper can play up from the back would be quite nice, wouldn't it? Yeah, blimey. Okay, you asked me some questions now. Maybe I'll just go for the City team, right? Because they've just won the league, the Premier League. So we definitely win the Spartan. I think you've read the City team, so that's probably my answer. Yeah.
Yeah, I've also got to ask you, Messi or Ronaldo, who's better?
Yeah, Messi. I'm going to go with Messi. I mean, I love Ronaldo's a fantastic player, but I think just in terms of who I'd rather watch in a game, I'd go for Messi.
I'd agree with that.
Well, that's me sacked and out of a job, boys. Thanks for taking over the Talk of the Town podcast. I don't think me and Matt are going to be needed anymore this season. Steve,
thanks very much.
Big thanks. Make sure you go and check out the YouTube channel. These boys will be doing more for us throughout the season. Until next time, everybody. Up the mighty Blues!
I've got questions for you. What position do you play?
I play centre mid.
Centre mid, yeah. You?
I'm centre mid as well, but I can play full back.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice, good stuff. And did you have a good season just now?
Yeah, I played okay in the season.
Yeah. How did your team do?
We come 4th in the league.
Okay.
We won 1 cup lost in a final and lost in a semi.
Okay, well done there. Good cup. Your team?
Yeah, finished a decent season, yeah.
Good stuff. Excellent. Fantastic.